there, everybody. This is episode 3 of Ranger Roundup. I am Ranger Alyssa, and with me, as always, I have
Ranger Rachel. What's
up? So if you haven't checked out our previous 2 episodes, definitely go check those out, do some of the activities. All of that is posted on YouTube. As well, it will be posted on our website as soon as we can get it up there. So make sure to check back on those 2 places and find our previous 2 episodes. Also for this week, we did a soil activity, and our episode 3 is called
A little dirt never actually hurts.
Yeah. So if you couldn't figure out by our soil activity and our
A little dirt never hurts
title, we are talking about soil and dirt this week. So if you did the activity, we just want to let you know that all science
doesn't turn out how you want it to sometimes.
Yeah.
So
we were planning on showing you our jars that we had put dirt in. However, because science isn't the most reliable thing every single time you do it, we couldn't get our results in today, but that's okay. So if your soil activity didn't quite work out, take your jar of soil, put water in it, a little bit of detergent, shake it up, let it sit for, it said 1 to 3 days, but
mine are still not done yet. So
yes, so
maybe a week or 2, you know, let it chill for a little bit and you'll get those results sooner enough, but it's just not happening as fast as I wanted to, but that's also science.
Yeah, science. It's not always the most predictable thing, so it's fine if yours didn't quite work the first time.
Yeah, and we'll post pictures of kind of what I did at home and then like what we have of our results right now, so you guys can see like the variations. Maybe you're experiencing something like that at home, but don't freak out. It's okay. So it happens.
Definitely does. But if you did the activity and were successful, awesome, good job to you, because you did better than all of us here at DeSoto. But now that it's done, you can figure out some stuff about your soil by listening to us talk about some fun information about soil.
Yeah, so we're gonna start off with the soil triangle actually. So we're gonna be posting, so there's some calculations that you guys have to actually do at home. So maybe you can grab an adult or somebody that can do that for you, but we'll be posting those equations with the instructions. So this is our soil triangle. So this is how you're going to figure out what kind of soil you guys actually at home. So from that guessing, so we gave you guys a soil kind of texture feel. So you guys kind of guess maybe what kind of soil you guys actually had from just like a little bit of wetness. And then now you guys can actually figure out technically what kind of soil you guys got in your backyard. So we're going to be posting that, but it's super fun. So you have your 3 components. You have sand, clay, and then silt. So sand is going to be your biggest particle, so it's going to be very gritty and so when you go to the beach you feel sand, you have it all over you. Then your moderate size one is going to be silt, so it's going to be kind of flowery, kind of fluffy, cloudy-like. And then you're going to have clay, which is going to be your smallest particle. It's very sticky and it gets stuck to a lot of things. So if you guys ever had pottery or dealt with pottery and you got it wet, you get stuck everywhere. It's very messy.
There you have your soil triangle. So we encourage you to go figure out what your soil ended up being and where it falls onto that soil triangle chart. But now we're going to tell you what makes soil good soil. So you can look at the chart and figure out what kind of soil you have, but just because you have a certain kind of soil doesn't mean that that's the only thing in the dirt, and that's the only thing helping everything that lives in the dirt. So I know there's some other things that go into
Yeah.
making up soil. So what are those things, Rachel?
Yeah, so you have nutrients in your soil. So you have organic matter, you have different things. So you have like three main kind of trios of things. So you have nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium. So that's going to be your three major trios. You do get carbon in there though too. That's good for, plants, carbon dioxide. But you're going to have those three main things. But you can always add those in there. So if your soil is kind of like a sandy soil, so when you're looking at this, you kind of want the best soil to be loam. So if you have maybe a sandier soil or more silty, maybe you have clay, you're going to want to add those organic matter into there. So like dead leaves, maybe like a dead animal, dead things that can kind of break down and add those. And then we're going to also post a chart that has like the best way to get maybe nitrogen in your soil, or maybe you need some more carbon. So we'll be posting that too, so that's fun stuff.
And one of the easiest ways to get nutrients into the soil is through decomposition. So decomposition happens on its own naturally in many different places around the world and in many different environments. And decomposition kind of looks different in every kind of underground place you're looking at. So decomposition is taking all those nutrients from the air, taking them from plants and animals that have died in like the woods, and breaking all of that stuff down so that it can go back into the soil and you can get nutrients again. So just like us, trees and animals need nutrients, vitamins and minerals to live. So once they die, you don't want all those vitamins and minerals and nutrients to go to waste.
Exactly.
So we want those to break down. And our best decomposers happen to be bacteria and fungi, which fungi is a fun word, so if you say it at home, it's pretty fun. And fungi is what's going to break down a bunch of things. It's all those mushrooms that you see growing on dead trees and dead things. So when all of that goes back into the ground, then there's more nutrients for the rest of the living organisms to use as well, which is really awesome. And with decomposition, you can kind of mimic decomposition at your own house with composting, right?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, so you can make a compost at your house. So you can put the banana peels in, you can put some coffee grinds, maybe you have some eggshells from in the morning from your breakfast, but you can put that all in, and with dead leaves, grass clippings, so you want to remember your brown, greens, and then also adding water into there, and then kind of turning it maybe weekly so you can get that heat in there to like actually mix up pretty well. So you could either add some, maybe you could get some worms, put that in there to help with the decomposition. You could put newspaper even in there, so that's some fun stuff. But yeah, we're gonna be giving you that chart too, that you can actually see good stuff, because you don't want to put meat or any kind of other things. You want to put like vegetable scraps in there, you want to put fruit scraps, paper, you can put in there grass clippings, kind of all organic stuff. You don't really want to put meats or kind of dead fish in there. You don't want to put anything like that.
Which, that's very interesting,
Yes,
because
exactly, you think.
yeah, definitely a few years ago, before I knew too much about composting,
I was like,
I thought you could throw whatever you wanted into a compost bin,
Mhm.
and turns out you cannot. So
Yes.
these are good tips.
Yeah.
Make sure if you want to start a compost bin, definitely check one out. One of our rangers has a compost pile in her backyard, and it looks really cool. She sent us a picture the other day, and we'll probably be posting it. Yeah, so you can see that, and
yeah, especially soil around here is pretty sandy, so when you're going outside, whenever you guys do go outside into your backyards, you might realize, oh, my soil might be a little bit more sandy than what I thought it was especially for our region, but also other regions around the country have different kind of soil. So if you guys go on vacation somewhere, you might see different kind of soil. So maybe be more aware of that when you guys go out. Be like, what kind of soil do I have here?
Exactly.
So that's always fun.
I like it.
Yeah.
And remember too, the darker your soil is, the more decomposed matter and decomposed things are in your soil.
Yeah.
So the darker your soil, the more healthy it is.
Definitely, you want that organic matter in there to actually help give you those nutrients that you need to give to your plants, so you can have some good tomatoes, you can get good potatoes, or squashes or stuff like that.
Yeah. So there are many different reasons we all need soil, and every living thing kind of relies on the soil in a sense. So you have your little mammals, your little critters that run around. Some of them really like to bury themselves in soil, so they'll burrow and live in different areas. Especially here in Florida, we have gopher tortoises too that can dig burrows in the ground. They're gonna hang out in those when it's really hot outside, and it provides them some protection from things up top on the surface, and as well it provides a space for a lot of other creatures to live.
They're keystone species, aren't they? So
Yeah.
so they're pretty important for the environment.
Yeah, can you talk about keystone species
Yeah,
a little bit
so
more?
what a keystone species is basically other animals will rely on that species for survival. So I can't remember, but there's a pretty good number of species that will actually use the gopher tortoise's burrow
Yeah.
to actually survive as well.
Yeah, definitely. There's like mice, snakes, a lot of little bugs will crawl in there too. So our gopher tortoise burrows are really helpful for a lot of other animals that live in the area. And they use that soil to help them.
Exactly.
Also, if you look in the soil, you'll find a lot of bugs. I know that I definitely would dig in the dirt when I was a kid and look for bugs. Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
A lot of roly-polies.
Yes, a lot of roly-polies. I liked touching them to make them like curl up in a ball. Yes. So all of those bugs are really good at, they need the soil too, because not only do they kind of want to stay away from things, but they help the soil in return.
Nice.
Yeah, so even though they are crawling around doing their own thing, once they're walking around down there, they kind of help aerate the soil. So even though soil is made up of a lot of different particles, it still needs air as well, because that's how our plants can kind of live with the soil around them. They still need air for their roots, so bugs are really good at making all those little air pockets for them. Also, mammals, turtles, and other animals that live in the ground, bugs, are all going to be pooping there. And when they poop, they're going to leave a bunch of other stuff, and that's going to help your soil become rich in nutrients as well. That's why earthworms are really good to have in soil, because not only are they eating dead stuff, moving around in there, aerating the soil, but they're also pooping in the soil, and that's giving nutrients back to the soil, which is awesome. Other things that need our soil are obviously going to be plants. Plants need all the nutrients out of the soil. They're going to need the soil so they can stay in the ground, because if you think about it, if this was a plant and it was just sitting on here with no roots, I could just go easily knock it over. I'm not going to, because I don't want dirt to get everywhere. But if it didn't have roots and if it wasn't secure to the ground, it would just blow over. So a lot of our trees, everything, all of our plants are going to have roots so they can stay in the ground.
The security of
kind of, because you don't want a gust of wind to come through and knock over all the trees in the forest. That would not be good. And some other things that need the soil and also help the soil are going to be bacteria and fungi, like I was talking about for decomposition. So not only are they helping the soil, but they need the soil because they need to break down different things in the soil. So they're able to give back to the soil. And it kind of works almost in just like a cyclical fashion. It's like the circle of life. We take from the soil,
Exactly, yeah.
and we give back to the soil.
Exactly.
So it's really awesome.
Yes, definitely. So, and then we will, how do people and also it affect the soil? So how do we as humans affect the soil?
Thank you for watching Ranger Roundup Episode 3, A Little Dirt Never Hurt, Part 1. You can find Part 2 by going to DeSoto National Memorial's YouTube channel or find the link on our website, www.mps.gov/DESO. Resources and activities are posted on our website with the link in the video description box below. To find out how humans help, hurt, and use the soil, check out Part 2 and do the activities along with us.